So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven? How do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. We have a phenomenal guest lined up. Terry Duffy is with us here tonight. She is waiting in the wings. She's chomping at the bit. She wants on, and she's coming on very, very soon. Real quick, the Mind, Body, Business Show. It is a show that has been put together by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs with the express purpose of helping you to gain success quicker. How many of you would like a shortcut to success and do it with all integrity and character? Yeah, I'm one too. And so what happens is we bring on very successful entrepreneurs from all over the world in various stages of their business as well, who come on and they share what their quote unquote secrets to their success are. And the beautiful thing about that is you can take these secrets, implement them in your own business, and achieve success faster. It's all about what I call modeling. I'm not the one that invented that word, and it's a fancy word for copying. And that's the beautiful thing. You have the express, unwritten permission of myself and every guest that comes on the show to basically model what they have done to achieve their success. So just think of the Mind, Body, Business Show as your shortcut to success. It's like having a seminar for free every single week with one beautiful, amazing guest like Terry Duffy, who's coming on very soon. And so it's about what I call the three pillars of success. That's why it's mind, body, and business. Mind means mindset. Successful people that I had studied over the course of, say, 10 years, a little bit more than that, I noticed they all had these three traits. And mind was, they had very powerful, more importantly, a flexible mindset. Body, they each and every one that I studied that were successful, they also took care of their body. Yes, their physical body through exercise and through nutrition. Oh my gosh, we've got an expert on the show tonight. Hint, hint, wink, wink, in that very area for taking care of oneself with your body. Terry Duffy is an expert, and you're going to want to listen to what she has to say tonight. And then there's business, and business is multifaceted. There are many skill sets that one must master in order to have a successful and thriving business. And in each and every show, we cover a little bit of some of the topics, and sometimes we cover all three. It's an organic, flowing show, and every single time, massive value ensues. And I know it will be no different with Terry Duffy. She is an amazing woman. Was getting to get to know her a little bit right before the show started, and she's an amazing, amazing woman. You're going to love her just like I love her. All right. And speaking of super successful people, one of the other common traits I found is that to a person, each and every one were very avid readers of books. And with that, I like to segue into a very short segment I like to affectionately call bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by reachyourpeaklibrary.com.
There you see it, reachyourpeaklibrary.com. And a word of advice real quick is when you hear of these resources and websites and things of that nature, books, could be books, write them down, take notes during this show, especially when Terry comes on. Because here's the thing, I've seen this from stage while I'm speaking from stage, and I know I'm getting to the really juicy part, the part that's going to change lives. Sometimes a person or two will get up and they need to use the restroom, or they get that all-important phone call or text message that they must go address. Well, they're just missing perhaps the most important thing that could have changed their life forever. I don't know for a fact, but it could have. And I would hate for that to happen to you because you took your attention away from what Terry is saying when she comes on tonight. So keep your attention with the show, take notes, and then visit the resources and search for the resources after the show. That's my advice. I hope you heed it because I've been there myself and come back and everyone's cheering. I'm like, what did I miss? So Reach Your Peak Library, that is a resource that I had built up with you in mind. And what it is a collection of books that I personally have read and that I personally vet. And so the reason I put it together is so that you have a higher likelihood of finding a book that will be something worthy of your time versus something that might possibly waste your time. And so I picked only the books that had a profound impact on my life, either in business or personal or both. And those are in this website as a list. It is not, this website is not here to make money. So here's the thing. If you find a book on there that really you want to read and it jumps out at you, you can either click the button on the site or you can go off to Amazon and find it there. It doesn't matter as long as you open the book, you get the book, you download it, you put it on Audible, you purchase a physical copy, whatever you like, and read the book. So that is my advice to you. And there's no rhyme or reason to the order these books are listed on this website as you see them flying by for those of you watching live. So just find the first book that really resonates with you that you have yet to read. Maybe you want to read it again and you lost your copy. It doesn't matter. Just go get the next good read and absorb it, and then come back and get the next one after that and find it wherever you want to find it and just take action and make it happen. That is my soapbox moment. And now that I'm getting off that soapbox, we're going to have even more fun because you know what it is time for? It is time to bring on the one and only Terry Duffy. So let's do that, shall we? Here we go.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is the one, the only Terry Duffy. Yes.
Thank you, Brian.
You're very welcome. How are you doing tonight, Terry?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited to talk to you and your fantastic show. It's so needed right now. So I really appreciate that you have this kind of a show.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so fun to do this. I love what I get to do. And yeah, I think I'm the biggest recipient of all the juice and the fun of anyone because I get to meet amazing individuals such as yourself who are here to help people, to serve people, to make them well, like in your case specifically. My goodness, it's amazing. Hey, before we get into the real good stuff, and I'm going to introduce you the way you deserve to be introduced, for one, Terry, and I won't forget to do that. But before I do that, I want to do a little housekeeping. And so for those of you watching or listening, you can see, if you're watching, above Terry's left shoulder, it's the right side of the screen of you watching straight on. There's a nice red and white logo up there. It looks like a stamp. It's the Big Insider Secrets. They are the sponsors of this show, and that enables us to offer each and every show a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. And that is all because of Jason Nast and the Big Insider Secrets. You do not want to miss the opportunity to win that. And so stick on till the end, and I'll give you the details on how you can enter to win. Every single show, we give this away. I love the fact that Jason has given us this ability to do that. So do that, make sure. And then a couple more, and we'll bring back Terry in just a second. I promise. I promise. So if you're struggling with putting a live show together, and maybe it's overwhelming, and maybe you want a lot of the processes done for you while still enabling you to put on a high quality show and connect with great people like Terry Duffy, hint, hint, and grow your business all at the same time, then head on over to carpetbombmarketing.com. Carpet Bomb Marketing, saturate the marketplace with your message. And one of the key components that is contained in the Carpet Bomb marketing process is one that you'll learn how to absolutely master. It's the very service we use right now to stream our live shows right here on the Mind Body Business Show. And over the course of the past, my gosh, it's been over 10 years now. I've tried so many of these quote unquote TV studio solutions for live streaming. And I'm here to tell you that that StreamYard is the best of the best. It combines supreme ease of use along with unmatched functionality. So write this down. The URL is ryp.im/streamlive, ryp.im/streamlive. And so you can start streaming high quality, professional looking live shows for free. You can do that right after the show. Go to that URL and grab your free account and start practicing and having fun with that. All right, we're coming back to the reason you're here, and that is Terry Duffy. So let's give her the introduction she so beautifully deserves, shall we? Yes. Terry Duffy has always studied alternative health and design and always will. I like that. With her design and health education experience and the many mentors she has studied with, Terry has been able to merge them into museum exhibit design, book and magazine design with a focus on preventative health. There's the kicker. This has enabled her to formulate a course of study about alternative health that is concise and fun, as well as incredibly informative. To see some of her design work, you can visit glyphicsdesign.com, or you can go also to compatiblealternatives.com, and we'll spell those out later on the show for those of you listening, so you don't have any spelling errors. With that, formally, officially welcome to the show, the Mind Body Business Show, Terry Duffy. Yes.
Thank you, Brian.
You're very welcome. I love something that people don't know, and I'd like you to expand on it if you would in a little bit, but you have a history of being a teacher. And so who better to put on courses for people to study and not just consume, but get results from than someone who's been doing it, who's an expert at it. And that's what really sets you apart from many who put together their own courses, that you have the acumen, you have the experience in the background. So I love that about you. There's many things, including your wonderful mindset. So when you get up in the morning, this is something I love to open with, because our success or lack thereof, in my humble opinion, is 100% attributed to what's going on between those two ears in our respective noggins. And for you, Terry, when you get up in the morning, what I like to find out and what I like to know is, you know, that being an entrepreneur is not always simple. It's not straightforward. Not everything is told. You're not given a roadmap on how to do everything. You kind of got to figure stuff out as you go, and it can get arduous at times. When you get up in the morning knowing that you've got another day of that ahead of you, what keeps you positive? What keeps you motivated? What keeps you driven to keep going day in and day out?
I have to start with walking outside or doing yoga. And I really make sure that 3 days a week, I'll do yoga, and 3 days a week, I'll walk outside. I was once told when I was going through a really hard time that if you do yoga 3 times a week, it will change your life. And so I really put that intent that I was going to do that. And it did. It changed my life. It's because of the movement. It's because of the finding that balance. But it's also the breath work. And that's the most important part of it. You can really not move and do breath work, and you're doing yoga. And so I have incorporated that and have established my own practice. And I love saying that because practice is something that you continually do. You know, you're always practicing, and you're never quite there. You're constantly developing. And so my practice is specifically for me. It incorporates, you know, some stretching and some breath work and a flow routine and some balance and things like that. But it is something that always makes me feel better afterwards. And then being out in nature is just, you know, you can't lose. You're just whether it's raining or whether it's snowing or whatever the weather is, when you are out in nature, it heals you. You know, we're interconnected, and we need that experience of being outside. And that's, if you're in a city, country, wherever you are, we really need that. But also, I have a gratitude book, and I'm not consistent enough. I will be very honest right up front. You know, days can go by, and some of them are, you know, pages are not filled out, but yet I really try to do it every day. And you know, you can be grateful for the fact that you can walk, that I can see, that I can, you know, smell, I mean, it's the little things. And some days when things are going bad and things are rough, you got to start with those little things, right? And yet it works, you know. There was a speaker, Roger Gabriel, who said, thinking of or complaining is like praying for all the things that you don't want to happen. So if you keep your mindset positive and you really are in that gratitude state of mind, it's another game changer for sure.
I love all of that. Yeah, and walking outside, I can relate to that. If I don't have enough time to go for any kind of walk, I'll just jump out in my backyard where I have a lawn. I take my shoes off, get grounded, get the sun hit my face for as long as I can, sip on my coffee, do some jumping jacks sometimes when I'm out there, get the heart pumping. Yoga. Oh my gosh, I've done yoga and I've never sweat so much doing so nothing in my entire life. Just holding positions, my goodness. But I can concur with what you're saying. I was just telling my son a couple days ago, I said, I need to do some yoga again. It's been a long time. And it stretches your body feels good. It releases a lot of poisons. I can just tell. You just feel it, that you just feel better. The stress is gone when you're done. You know, and be sure to have a mat or something that will absorb all the sweat that's going to happen. Because goodness, it's quite. I watched it from afar and I thought, it's just people, putting in stances and twisting around like a pretzel. How hard can that be? It's like, wow, I had no idea. It can be very difficult. And there's certain things I cannot do this day. I'm just not flexible and all that balanced. But if I kept at it, I'm sure I could. If I had a trainer like you, I bet I could do it. For sure.
There's a lot that I can't do, for sure. That's why I tailor my own practice to me.
And that is an important point. I'm glad you brought that up again, because you have somewhat of a regimented morning system routine. And that's what I find of many, many successful people that I've interviewed on the show. That is one common denominator. The one thing I always tell folks is what you just said is customize it to you. Listen to what Terry just said. If you don't have a routine, model it. Do what she does. And then if it doesn't work exactly the way she described it for you, customize it, change it so it does. Mix in something else that does work better for you. Maybe I interviewed a guy who starts out his day by jumping on a trampoline.
Great.
Yeah, and it's exercise. It's really good, and it forces blood to move in your extremities that it normally wouldn't. Wow, I've been into fitness, former certified personal trainer, and I was like, I never heard of this. It actually makes total sense. And he said it's changed his life, and he does it every day, and he's been doing it for years, every single morning. And so, the key is to have some kind of routine. I've noticed I'm a lot like you, Terry. I'm not very good about staying disciplined in those. I've been asked that question on multiple shows that I'm not the host, and they say, what's your routine every morning? I said, I don't have one. I don't have one. I continue to do things I know that are right for me. And I do different things. I like variety. So I don't just do the same thing, and I don't write it all down and say, do this day. I write down things that are necessary for appointments and things, but that's one of those areas that I don't have that kind of discipline when it comes to that. It's a weird thing, but I've never had, but I've done all right. So it's okay. So fantastic. So I want to dive into your business, because this is mind, body, business. And we just covered a little bit of the mind. There's no particular order, but body comes next in the title. And that's a perfect segue to bring in what it is you do for your clients. What is your specialty? What is your genius? And I'll bring up your website if you'd like, and I'll just let it scroll down while you talk about what it is Compatible Alternatives is all about, and who you serve, what kind of results you've gotten for your clients, and that kind of thing. Is that cool?
Sure.
All right, let's bring it on up and go ahead and take it away.
Well, I have had this tandem career for my whole life. I have studied alternative health in college and design. And so design kind of led the way throughout a lot of my career, and I was always teaching the alternative health on the side. But when it was interesting, I always say the amazing synchronicities of life, because I studied these two at the same time. It was as if every client that came to me to do design was asking me to do design around some type of teaching people about health. And so it was always this, like I said, this tandem career. And I was able to work with a lot of really, really good healers over the years, and have been curious about health and alternative modalities for my whole life. So I, this art of digestion is one thing that I started because I was working for a client, and they were a culinary school, LA Kitchens, and it was a class for people who are just getting out of prison and the foster care system. And so I read over their curriculum. They asked me to design their curriculum for them, and I read over their curriculum. And I said, the one thing you're missing is what the body does about the food that you're making. And so they asked me to write that part of their curriculum. And so I was able to come up with this class, and it's all about drawing your digestive system.
Huh.
And so I'm an artist, and the way I studied the body in school was that I would draw it. I would use the anatomy coloring book and I would draw it. And it was always really successful for me because I'm a visual learner, and it was using all of my senses. And so I was able to then put this class together, and you stencil all the different organs within your digestive system. And I'm talking, all the while that you're coloring. And it was interesting because a lot of people are as intimidated about art as they are intimidated about anatomy and physiology.
Wow.
And so the tandem course of learning not only about their digestive system and why it's so important, but also that art is really healing and brings you to the center and in the moment so that you can relax and enjoy yourself. So all of these things are going on at the same time. And really, they're learning about this amazing body that we get to walk around in every single day. And it does something for us every single second of the day. Who does that? And so I love teaching that. And I really initiated it at the Boys and Girls Club for kids. And I thought, oh, they're going to think it's too science, too school. They're not going to like this. But I thought, oh, I'll try it. And they really liked it. They loved learning about themselves. And so it started for kids. But then I learned that adults don't know anything about their body either. And so I use the same class for adults. And it's very fun, and you learn a lot.
That's a very unique style of teaching. I love that. I didn't realize it was, when I saw the art of digestion, I was looking at your website earlier. It literally is the art of digestion.
Yes.
That's just genius. I love that.
I'm coming up with a video now, and adding to that the vagus nerve, and how the vagus nerve is attached to the whole digestive system and how that affects your brain. And we're doing a video of that. I'm really excited to show you that when it's done.
Yeah, I love all these. This is the thing that grabbed my attention. This little animation. There it goes again. And I watched it like 3 or 4 times, and I'm like trying to identify what I'm looking at. Okay, one of those is the liver. I think a kidney's in there. I'm like, wow, I didn't know they were even in those positions. So this is already educational, and had never talked to you before.
Well, I'm so glad you're showing this, because I love this, and I do the same thing. I show this in my class, And I say, let's watch it one more time. Okay, one more time. And that we're going to add the vagus nerve to this animation so that you can see how the brain is affected by your digestive system and what
Oof,
you eat.
I love
So,
this.
yeah, good.
Yes, I do. I love learning all kinds of stuff, and this is one of them. I love, yeah, health, especially. As I get older, that it becomes more and more prevalent in my mind. When I was younger, I was going to live forever. It didn't matter. I could eat anything, drink anything, and I was just not going to be impacted. And the cool thing is, you just reminded me of a lot here. What it's so important what we put into our bodies and how we treat our bodies. I grew up in an environment where that was never thought of, and it's nothing negative against my parents whatsoever. It just wasn't in their wheelhouse to think that way. To this day, my dad, who's turning 86 May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, he drinks water from the tap. And I just almost cringe every time. Back in the day, that was okay. It used to be clean. At least we think it was.
Yeah.
I used to drink water from a hose. I come from that long back. And it was not going to kill you. I'm still here, so it didn't. But it's just that mentality was it didn't matter what we put into our bodies, didn't know about health at all, and just ate and in his case drank anything he wanted during their entire adult life. He's 86, so kudos. It didn't take him to an early demise. So at least that's good news. But at the same time, I'm thinking tap water, yuck. He's filling up his coffee maker with tap water. And I'm like, oh, that's got to be the nastiest coffee on the planet. But he's okay with it. So it's good to bring this to the forefront so folks have an understanding that what you put in your body does matter. You notice things within days or a week after changing your habit. You can notice the difference if you make a change for the better in your habits and where you get your food, where you get the things you put in your body, what you put on your body, all kinds of wonderful things that luckily I got old enough to be able to be interested to learn all this stuff.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, just the amount of sprays and the air now and the pollutants and we've got to be really careful about, much more so than before, about what we're putting in our body.
Yeah, and for lots of different reasons, with it's insecticides and all kinds of poisons that are put on the food to preserve it, genetic engineering of food. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It's all for nothing more than the mighty dollar, which is really, really sad that we are all put in this. I mean, more disease than ever, inflammation than ever before in the history of mankind because of all this crazy stuff that's happening and the food that's made available to us. And so when I get wind of someone like Terry Duffy, I get excited because we need a reset button, and you'll be one catalyst toward that end. And so I appreciate that. And I like to say, I want Terry, I want you to become exceedingly wealthy. And why would I want that for you? Because you're my best friend. Well, maybe soon. Yes, we just met, but and I'm not going to take that out of the wheelhouse. But really, because I can tell you're here to help people. And when you become, when you become exceedingly wealthy, I know you're going to do everything in your power to scale this business and this outreach so you can help and serve more people. That is a beautiful thing. And then, by the way, go ahead and have fun with that massive wealth, Terry. Incredible wealth beyond what you have today. Splurge and give yourself some pats on the back. Go buy a boat, go buy a car, whatever it is, but you deserve it. So you also get to reward yourself. People don't want to give themselves, permission to do that. So, I hope you really become just wonderfully, wildly wealthy. If you're not already, I could be presumptuous here and thinking you're not yet, but you can always be more, right?
You can always be more. And you know what? It's all about helping people, though, and that is what is so important. And that's why I developed these classes, because the last 2 years, especially, let's face it, it's been crazy, and a lot of people have been sick, and taking care of yourself has come to the forefront, and we really need to know how to do that more and more. And so that's why, and I can't believe how many times I've said thank you, COVID-19, because it sequestered me, and gave me the time to really focus on developing these classes, it was the one reason why I've really put this out into the world. If you would have asked me a few years ago, oh, would you like to teach these classes online? I would have said, no way. There's no way I want to do that. I'd much rather be in person with people and, really get to know them in that way. But I'm so excited that I was able to do this because I can reach people that are in Europe. I can reach people who are on the East Coast and Midwest and the West Coast. And that has been a very rewarding thing because I want to reach as many people as possible to get them to just to know simple things. It's not rocket science. It's simple things as long as you do them in the very beginning, preventatively and daily. Add it to your routine. These are the ways that you can really help yourself out.
And I love how you took a very horrible negative occurrence event and turned it around for the positive. More millionaires and successful people are made in down times than they are in up times. And why is that? Because the people like you, Terry, come up with solutions. They think out of the box. Well, there's a way around this, or there is a solution to help with this that other people. I remember thinking, and I missed it. I should have pulled the trigger, but I thought, toilet paper was not available, if you remember that. And I remembered, you know what? I remember that there is this thing called a portable bidet, and you can get it on Amazon. I should invest in it or buy a bunch of them and resell them on eBay or something. And it turned out those became quite a hot item. But, there's always a solution. There's always a solution. Everyone's just like, oh, my God, there's no toilet paper. What am I going to do? It's like there's always something, be careful if you use plant leaves from your backyard, though. Some of those could be the wrong ones. But, yeah, there's always a solution to every problem. And that's when entrepreneurs rise, really, in all honesty. Yes. And that's what you did. And it kind of, in a way, I won't say forced your hand, but it guided your hand into that arena that is now blossoming for you. You're able to reach people, like you said, internationally as a result of doing something you never would have otherwise considered. So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was really a wonderful opportunity. And I love the way you say that there's always a solution because, we've been going through some dark times and, 2022 started out, I don't know about for you, but for me, it was dark. And yet you can, as many dark things that are going on, there's that many amazing people who are doing incredible things out there to balance it out. And we're all trying to find that balance. So you just have to focus yourself on the positive.
That's it. A great mentor of mine always said, I don't think he coined the phrase, but it was fantastic, is you get what you focus on. Mm-hmm. So if you focus on a bunch of, and pardon the word, crap, you're going to get more and more of it. If you focus on good things, you're going to get more of it. So you get what you focus on. So it always comes down to this. And I was just talking to a gentleman earlier today about this. We all have the same thing. It's called choice. We get to choose how we react to every situation. And that's what makes the successful more successful than those who are not, is simply what they choose in light of these situations that come up. How do you react? Is it going to be a negative? Oh, woe is me. I was just dealt this hand of cards and that's just the way life is, I guess. Well, no, that's not a successful strategy. It kind of was, huh? I was pulling out my inner Eeyore. That was funny.
Well, and that's the other thing. A sense of humor can go a long way, as I can tell you have, and you know that.
It's funny you say that. I literally told my kids at a younger age, because I was in the technical field. I was a software engineer working in a defense company, and it was very regimented and sometimes a little overbearingly serious. And I've always been a lighthearted guy. And I've told my kids, I've taught them this. I said, there are times to be serious and there are times to just have fun. And rarely is it the former, serious. Yes, there are times for it. You know, if you're at a funeral or if you're at a wedding, you know, you don't want to be making noises in the back while the ceremony is going on, things like that. Be respectful. But being serious, there's very few times I found in life where it's absolutely necessary. Why not inject a little fun respectfully as much as you can? As long as your intent is there should be no problem. I've done it times where my intent was pure and fun loving, but they would take it the wrong way. I was like, no, I didn't mean it. I was just playing.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, it's far more fun to have fun than it is to be serious all the time. And life is to be enjoyed, in my humble opinion. And if you're operating at a high level of performance due to proper nutrition intake, knowing how your body works, like you teach, Terry, then that kind of puts it all, like you said, it's part of the whole big equation, isn't it? The bigger picture.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And the mind, body, spirit component of it, because you have to look at all of it. It's not just that particular ache that you have. It's what is causing that. What's the down deep cause of that? And so many problems are caused by stress. So many problems are caused by worrying and emotional things, that you have to look at that aspect too in order to really get to the core of the problem that's going on.
And that's why you said it so eloquently, and that's why mind and body is in there, because you can relieve stress through yoga, you can relieve stress through nutrition, you can do it through attitude and humor, like you said. That's the mind. There's so many wonderful things that God has given us the ability to do. We are wonderfully designed. It's just a matter of tapping back into who we are. I love that. I keep going back to that image of all those pieces coming together of the body. That I don't even know how my own body's put together until I saw that. Like, wow, I never took anatomy. I knew the organs are in there. I just don't know how they're layered, and that was
Right.
pretty neat.
Of course you didn't take anatomy. No one takes anatomy. We're raised to be stupid about our own bodies. And why is that? We know why it is.
What is that?
There's a lot of people making money off of us being sick. Okay.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. That's the elephant in the room. And so we have to make sure that we learn about that. And we should be learning about it when we're in first grade. There should be an anatomy and physiology class that goes on from first to eighth grade, and it's all taught by art, and it's all different things that you can, drawing or painting or illustration or computer arts or whatever. And you should learn about every system in your body from first grade on up until you graduate from high school, and you know what's going on inside of you. And that should be mandatory. And I really want to be able to do that, to compile something like that, and then give it away to every school.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And we were talking before we came on about this whole concept known as alternative medicine.
Right.
We're talking about the ancient, like Chinese remedies and essential oils and all the natural remedies that, well, they used to work. And then all of a sudden something else came in that was chemically based called big pharma. And now what used to work that was natural is now alternative, when truly it was primary.
Yes.
What are your
original.
Thoughts? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, traditional Chinese medicine has been around for more than 4,000 years. And why is that? Because it works. And, homeopathy has been around for hundreds of years. It works. And all these things are more original medicine or original healing. And they're all based on viewing nature and really looking at nature and how it works from season to season, and how your body is interconnected with nature. And that's how they were developed thousands of years ago. So it's it's beautiful to be able to teach these things from a historical point of view, because I try to dissipate the woo-woo, right? To be able to say, no, this is the science of it. This is who invented it. This is how it works, so that people will really see the validity.
I like that term, dissipate the woo-woo. That should be a website. I love it. It's so true, because it's thought of as woo-woo. It's
Yeah.
alternative. It's weird. It's different. It's what works. I have this theory that that we were designed by a creator. I call him God, and this creator gave us certain things on this planet for us to ingest that were made for us to maintain our health, and then we as knucklehead humans go in and invent all these chemically based, unnaturally mixed compounds and shove those in our body, so that the person that designed it can make a lot of money, while all the people start suffering over the years that they're ingesting this junk. Interesting how this comes, and that money seems to be at the core of all ills of, not of late, because that's been happening forever, but there's a lot of things going on today that are all based on power and money that should never happen. That's my humble opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes, but as we had said before, and the reason that I call my business Compatible Alternatives is that we all need to work together. The homeopath, the acupuncturist, the doctor, the Western medicine, all of it, because if you got into a car accident and you were on the side of the road in pieces, you want somebody to give you drugs. You want somebody to sew you up, to use a hammer, a screwdriver, some nails, a stapler, and put you back together again. And they're really good at that. And so that's why I want to always say that we all need to work together and play nice in the sandbox, right?
I love that. We all need to work together. Yes.
Yes.
Smart bombs, knowledge bombs, bombs of wisdom. That is Terry Duffy right there. That was profound, because we should all play nice together. And I'm with you. I'm not anti-doctor. I'm not anti-medicine per se. It's just the reversal of calling something that's primary alternative. That just blows my mind a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. They're trying to take homeopathy off the shelves right now. And that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, one, because we'll just get it online. But why make it more inconvenient? Because it just shows you how narrow-minded you are, and that you're trying to manipulate something. It's so obvious. And so we need to have these alternative modalities in order to stay healthy.
Yeah, totally. I sound like I won't go into that. It's a California thing that you would recognize, but a lot of people would. So you've been a teacher. Now, was this in a scholastic environment of some kind? Or was it what like levels or grade levels or ages of folks would you teach, or vocation that you were teaching in?
Well, I was really just teaching my own individual classes on the side, and then doing my graphic design, book design, exhibit design, primarily.
Okay.
But the teaching part of it, through the graphic design, came into, for instance, doing an exhibit for the American Heart Association that was 8 different exhibits, 20,000 square feet, and it's all about teaching kids how to take care of their heart. So it was so great, because my husband designs the 3-dimensional, and I design the 2-dimensional, and work with scientists and teachers to develop the curriculum to then put on these panels and do it in a really fun and interactive way. So that was really, one of my pride and joys, because we got to do it on such a big level. And it's it's again, it's the synchronicity of being able to teach people about the body, but do it through design. Because I'm a designer, I'm an artist.
I love it. And so you've been an entrepreneur for a while. So I'm curious, what would you say is your absolute favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur?
Well, of course, it's the freedom.
Yes.
I really appreciate the freedom of having my own business and always have. But the reason that I created my own business is really because I was a working mom and I wanted to spend as much time with my kids as I could. And yet I also wanted to get away from them on occasion too, as every parent will totally get.
Yeah.
I loved my clients when my kids were driving me crazy, and vice versa. But I just really wanted to be able to pick them up from school. I wanted, because some of the most telltale conversations that I ever had with my kids was in the car
Mm.
after I picked them up from school. And I didn't want to lose that. I didn't want to miss that. And so I would always have offices that my kids could come in and rollerblade around on and bring their friends and have snacks in the refrigerator. And it was, for a long time, I had an office that was right across the street from a park. And, it was all intentional so that I could incorporate, our family into my business. And it is spinning many plates, and sometimes those plates fall down and sometimes you're sweeping up a lot, but it is, to me, it was so much more worth it to be able to do the two and really have them interact.
I love that. And that's the one word that always comes up. Like I use liberation, freedom. It's freedom of choice, right? You get to design your day and your night and everything in between. And if you design it incorrectly, then your business suffers, or your family life suffers. Depends on which side of that is incorrect. But at least it's on you as the person, it's not being forced upon you by a corporation if you're an employee. That's why I think freedom is such a wonderful, powerful word in this sense, because I've been with I used to be in corporate, and I would miss a lot of my kids' life. I learned stuff, gosh, a couple months ago that I didn't even realize they actually used the backyard when I was at work. I put a lot of work, time, and effort, designed the backyard. I laid the sod. I did all this manual labor to give them a great big place to play, and I never realized they even used it. I thought they didn't. And they're like, "What? We were there every day. Are you kidding, Dad?" I'm like, "You were? Oh, that's awesome." But I missed a lot as a result of being away and working that quote unquote 9 to 5 and commuting. And so I get that, the whole freedom thing, because it's like, and then I have entrepreneur buddies who are just, "Hey, I'm going to run off to this event. Why don't you come with me?" I'm like, "I can't, man. I got a job." I was like, "This stinks. I don't like this at all. I'm in a cage." So I totally get that word freedom. So appreciate you saying that. I mean, that was your word. It's genuine. So if you were to look back on everything you've been through, what you're doing, and the things that have led to success, and this could be either business or personal, it doesn't matter. But if you could think of one person that you could point to say, that person has been my biggest inspiration to date for me, who would that be and why?
It definitely would be Dr. Hazel Parcells. And she was a woman that my husband and I met when we were in our late 20s. I'll back up a little bit. We were living in San Francisco, and we were both working stressful jobs, and we had a 2-year-old, and there was a lot going on. And I had knee surgery. And the very same day, my husband started bleeding internally. And so I couldn't even drive him. I had a 2-year-old, and I was laid up with knee surgery, and I couldn't even drive him. I had our aunt drive him to the hospital, and they were, they pumped him full of blood, thank God, but they didn't know what it was. And they kind of said, well, let's just go in and see what's going on. And so I was like, just cut him open, and so you could kind of see what's going on. And I said, well, let's just wait here. And so we were going to an acupuncturist at the time, and the acupuncturist, we said to him, we're going to be moving back to New Mexico. And he said, if you're going to be moving back to New Mexico, you need to go and make an appointment with Dr. Hazel Parcells. And so we did that. And he said, and you better be quick about it because she's 92. And so we got an appointment with her, and she basically found out that my husband had parasites, and so put him on a fast and got rid of the parasites. And within a month or two, he was really like eating and feeling fine and gaining weight, and he was back to his old self. And at the time, I had just bought a big industrial camera, the kind that you put on top of your shoulder. Yeah, you can tell how much has changed since then. But I was doing video work, and I wanted to videotape artists. And so you can see how this is all like full circle. And so Dr. Parcells said, well, I need some videos. And so I would love it if you would videotape my classes and do a short videotape for me. And so because of that, I got to take all of her classes and become really good friends with her. Both my husband and I became very good friends. And she was this amazing woman who was totally tapped into the ground. I mean, she grew up on a ranch and had her feet in the earth, but her head in the Akashic records. She was just like way out there and knew how to channel and bring things in and bring amazing knowledge in. But she was funny and redheaded and just had a great sense of spark and sense of humor. And so we became very good friends. And those are the classes that I have compiled to put online in these last couple of years that I've taught for 30 years. But I learned it all from her. And she was supposed to die at 46, and she lived to be 106. And it was all because of what she found out and how to treat the body.
Fantastic. Yeah. And you mentioned classes. I just put those up on the screen for those watching. Are these indicative of her work that you've implemented, or is this something?
Yes,
Okay.
very much so. Level 1 for sure, and level 2 as well as a more advanced. And then level 3 is introducing homeopathy and traditional Chinese medicine and essential oils and breathwork yoga and how to balance your body with all of these alternative modalities. And there, like I always say, I'm kind of the gatekeeper. I open the gate and I introduce you historically and give you the basics of what these are all about, so that then you can go and take it further. You can do more research. You can go to a professional. You can experience the treatment and what it's like. And so that is that's why we can do this level 1, 2, and 3 in 3 classes for an hour and a half for each class, and really give you a ton of information, but do it quickly.
I love that. And compatiblealternatives.com for those of you listening on podcasts that can't see the visuals going on here. Again, it's compatiblealternatives.com, and you can get you just go into, there's a classes link at the very top to understand what we're talking about. There's level 1, understanding energy to enhance immunity. Level 2 is measuring wellness, mind, body, and spirit. And level 3 is activating compatible alternatives for a healthy living. Just for those of you listening, to help you understand what's being talked about, I always like to bring in our audio listeners, always, because we love them every bit as much as those who are watching either live or recorded video as well. And my goodness, I'm looking at the clock and I cannot believe what's going on. And I got to tell you, Terry, one of the measuring sticks I have for a guest that has an impact on me personally is how much I take notes. And I've been taking notes pretty voraciously. I actually even went into a second page. I only have one line there, but I try to never recommend that folks do something that I am not either willing to do or always doing. And that was, in the onset, take notes. And it really makes a big difference. And especially when there's someone as impactful as Terry Duffy, you want to take notes. And I hope everyone is taking notes. And if you didn't, go back and either rewatch or re-listen and take notes and write this down and go back to compatiblealternatives.com. What would be a great way? We're not done yet, but what would be a great way for folks to reach out and get a hold of you, Terry, if they have questions, if they want to learn more about what you do and all of this alternative stuff that we're talking about? What would be the best way for folks to get in touch with you?
I think email me at terry@glyphixdesign.com or info@compatiblealternatives.com, and you can see those on both of my websites. And then we can set up a time to talk or do a Zoom. Or I always love to get to know who's out there, what they're interested in. And all of my students become my friends. And so at the end, the last class, I'm always like, oh God, I love you guys, but I want you to go. Please take it again.
Yeah. Separation anxiety, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I know what you mean. It's like, I don't want this to be over. No. Well, one of the things I love to do, and I haven't forgotten everyone that's watching live to the end, that I will show you how to win that 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. That's coming up. Don't go anywhere. One of the things I love to close every show out with, Terry, is this one impactful, powerful, interesting question. And I ask this of every guest. Allison Stillman, your predecessor, had the same question as well, and she answered it masterfully, as you will. It's going to be a profound and amazing question and answer. I know it already. I just know. Been doing this a long time. There's never a dull moment on that one. And so before we do that and close the show out, and so people stick around, but I'm going to give you the information you need to enter to win a 5-night stay. There's the 5 at a 5-star luxury resort. Again, compliments of the Big Insider Secrets. And I'm going to bring that up on the screen. Write this URL down. It's ryp.im/vacation, ryp.im/vacation, all lowercase, and write it down. And as soon as this show is over, after Terry answers this very profound question, then head on over. We'll give you plenty of time to enter. And so go ahead and write that down and then enter. And I can't wait to see who that lucky winner is. And just as a side note, guest experts are allowed to enter as well.
Oh,
Terry,
good. Okay. I was hoping so.
I've actually had several win. It's pretty neat. And it's random, completely random. So no, there's no favorites being played for those of you watching right now. Nope, it doesn't work that way. It's completely random. All right. So Terry, the big question. So I wanted to add a couple more things before I spring it upon you. One of them is there is no such thing as a wrong answer to this question. It doesn't exist. And the reason is because the exact opposite is true, is that the only correct answer is yours. And that's because it will be unique to you. It's impossible to answer it incorrectly. And if it takes you a moment to ponder to get the answer, if it takes you an instant, either way is just perfect. Why? Again, because it's your answer. It's unique to you. So with that, are you ready for the big question?
Now I'm nervous with all that lead up. I'm gonna go. I don't know.
No, you'll get it quick or not. It's okay. Again, it doesn't matter, but it will be the correct answer no matter what. The outcome is always a success every single time, guaranteed. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, I knew you would be. Terry Duffy, how do you define success?
That's a good question. I define success by my happiness. I definitely know that money oftentimes or sometimes does not make you happy. And there is this feeling inside of you're always searching for security. And what I realized through going through some tough times was that security is within you. And you have to know in your heart of hearts that you're always taken care of. And when you get to that place, you can just be genuinely in the moment and success will come to you. You will be able to just feel it. And everybody else does too. They feel a genuineness of you being in the moment and then are allowed to feel good with you. You spread it all around. And that is success.
I love it. You know what's coming. You know it. Oh, my goodness. You've been an absolute delight. Terry Duffy, I have thoroughly enjoyed our chat here today. Appreciate you. And let's stay in touch long after this. Like we were talking earlier, you're now my friend and there's nothing you can do about it.
Absolutely.
Like you're family, mine. Right?
Yes.
I appreciate you and so appreciate Allison for recommending you to come on the show. We'll say hi to her too as well if she watches this. And that is it for the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a good full hour of fun and value. And I hope you do reach out to Terry and just have a chat with her and say, hey, how can this help me? I want to learn more about my body, how it functions, my digestion. I want to go through your classes. Perhaps they're all live so far. You want to go to it now before they're all recorded. So jump on that right away. So one last time, I'll put that up. We want you to go to compatiblealternatives.com. And that is where you can find the classes that were referenced here today on the Mind Body Business Show. I love to say that. It's pretty fun. All right. With that, on behalf of the amazing Terry Duffy, I'm your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show. And that is it for tonight. We will see you again on the next episode next week. Until then, everyone, so long and be blessed. Take care.
Thank you, Brian.
You're very welcome. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.